ang findings.
Okay na
Ayan,
ma'am, live
okey
na
na.
po.
Ayan, hello po. Ayan, live na po
Good
tayo.
afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Ayan, good
Good
afternoon
afternoon,
mga ka-Pix Pro natin.
Dex
So,
Pro.
Mamean, take it away.
Wait, magche-check tayo muna ng comments, kung meron na tayong mga viewers from our live. Wait lang.
Ayan, i-share din
Okay.
natin yung ating mga live.
Okay.
Pa-share po ng ating
Pa-share
live.
ng ating live sa ating mga viewers. Wait, let me check. Bagal ng internet, ah.
Oo nga.
Wala pang nagko-comment. Siguro, ay, mayroon na tayong 9 viewers. Makiki-comment po ng inyong location para po kayo ay aming mabati. Oh, we have our Kapix Pro from Aurora. Yan, good
Ayan, hello
afternoon
po.
po sa inyo. Yan, meron pa good afternoon. Oh, we already have 10 viewers. Na meron ba tayong mga students, ma'am, dito, Ma'am Andy, na manonood?
Naku ma'am, naka-summer sem tayo ngayon
Oh,
pero
ay,
yes,
naka-summer.
kahit naka-summer ay
We also
nakatutok
have,
yung mga yan.
yan, very good.
Nga,
May plus points ba yun, ma'am?
sa first sem, may
Okay.
advance na
Sa
agad.
first sem, advance.
Oo, meron na agad
Oo.
sila.
We also have Kapix Pro from Rizal. Okay, good afternoon po sa lahat. So today, we'll have an interesting discussion, no? Very timely yung magiging topic natin for this KC or Kwentuhang Cybersecurity. So it will be about staying smart, identifying fake news in the age of AI. So Ma'am Andy, pwede na ba tayo mag-start
Yes, we can start na
ng
po. So,
kwentuhan?
yes. Sige, start na po tayo. So, let me share my screen. And, for a while lang po, talagang medyo ang ating internet.
So yeah, magtitingin ulit ako ng mga comment. Maki-comment po ng inyong location.
Ayan, kita na po ba ang ating share ang screen? Nakita na
Ayun,
po,
okay na ma'am.
Mamean?
Kita na. Kita na
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. Okay po, thank you. Ayan, so let's start our kwentong cybersecurity for this afternoon. So, first day ng August, no? So, very
Mm.
timely katulad ng sinabi ni Mamean. We'll be talking about fake news, how we'll be able to identify it, and ano yung pwede nating gawin, no, para ma-prevent yung mga cybersecurity threats na dala-dala ng mga fake news na paminsan sinishare natin hindi natin na-check no or na-validate yung authenticity ng information na sinishare natin. So, here we'll be talking about those specific topics. So, let's start po. Feel free po to comment yung inyong mga insights, no? Kung meron kayong mga related na mga experiences or insights habang nagdi-discuss tayo. So, before we start, let's first define ano ba yung fake news. What is a fake news? So, it is defined as fake news refers to false or misleading information presented as legitimate news, often with the intent to deceive, manipulate public perception, influence opinion, or generate traffic and profit. So, usually, akala natin it's just a headline, no, or and a post about specific news, but most of the time pag fake news, no, misleading or mali or hindi totoo yung mga contents ng mga information na laman ng post na yon, and usually sinishare yon or nakikreate yon, no, for a specific purpose. So usually yun nga, to manipulate and deceive yung mga people, nagagamit din siya as a threat to our cybersecurity like phishing, identity theft, and other malicious prospects. Okay, so ano yung mga characteristic that we should look for to identify what is a fake news? First is the fabricated content. It contains fabricated content. It means it has entirely false stories made up to mislead. Second, usually meron siyang misleading headlines and mapapansin nyo rin medyo exaggerated minsan yung mga headlines ng mga ganitong type ng information. Sensational or exaggerated titles that distort the actual content. Next, another characteristic is impersonation of legitimate sources. Fake articles that mimic the style or branding of credible news organizations. Minsan makikita nyo dun sa post na dun yung logo ng isang kilalang institution or organization. And sometimes, even yung mga people, no, ginagamit or ginagaya yung mga uh, specific kilalang tao, celebrities or known people, nilalagay dun sa post. Number 4, emotionally charged language. It aims to provoke anger, fear, or sympathy to encourage sharing. Ayan. So usually then, ang characteristic ng fake news is it triggers an emotion among the readers. So usually nag-inflict siya ng fear, excitement, or anger sa atin. Kasi sabi nga doon sa nabasa ko, whenever you feel something, pag may nabasa ka and you feel something, it's likely mas malaki yung chance na i-share mo ang isang post kapag nakaka-relate ka, pag meron kang emotional connection dun sa nabasa mo. And number 5, key characteristic of a fake news is lack of verifiable sources, often missing credible references or citation. Minsan wala talaga siyang credible na references or sources, or hindi natin makita dun sa post or dun sa headlines sa content kung saan ba talaga nanggaling yung informations. So these are one of the key characteristic that we should look out for whenever we see or may hinala tayo kung ito bang information na to ay totoo or hindi. So, what's the purpose of fake news? Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng ganon, no? So, first is to influence public opinions, usually during elections, no? Or mostly about politics, no? So, it influences our perception about different topics. Second is to promote scams or frauds. So, ginagamit din yung fake news para makapagpalaganap or magpakalap ang mga tao, no, yung mga may purpose nito to promote a fake endorsement or phishing. So, fake endorsement usually scam, akala natin itong kilalang taong to, kilalang doctor, or usually no sa healthcare may mga makikita tayong posts na nagpo-promote si ganito ng specific product pero hindi naman pala, or merong mga investments endorsement or advertisements tayong nakikita na endorse ng isang kilalang artista or celebrity. Pero pag clinic natin, scam pala siya. And mostly dito rin pumapasok yung phishing, wherein akala natin yung site or yung link na clinic natin ay legitimate site, and then it asks for our informations, no, yung ating mga username, passwords, yung mga important information natin. Pero ginagamit yun for identity theft and other fraudulent acts. Third, purpose of fake news is to generate ad and revenue. Lalo na ngayon, di ba, ang dami ng mga anong tawag natin, yung mga influencers, no, or yung mga nagpo-post or nagpapalaki ng kanilang followers or ng page, or let's say YouTube page, 'di ba? So minsan mas madali kasing makakot ng attention yung mga fake news and false informations, kasi yun nga nag-generate siya ng emotion, mas nakaka-relate yung tao. So sometimes fake news are used to generate advertisements, engagements, ayan, para i-like, i-heart, or i-comment natin ng isang specific na post. So, for their profit, ano. And then fourth is the purpose of fake news is to disrupt trusts in legitimate institutions. Kumbaga, ang purpose is para siraan or magkaroon ng malicious reaction yung tao tungkol sa isang specific na organization or health or even media. Or example is during COVID, right? 'Di ba nung during COVID-19, um, may mga fake news na nababasa tayo na about sa vaccines na huwag kayong magpa-vaccine or whatsoever. So, ang purpose nun is to disrupt the trust of the people and para magkaroon ng confusion yung tao. Okay? So, ano yung relation nitong fake news into cybersecurity? Akala lang natin basta, okay, fake news siya, shinare ko, sorry. Yan, para akala natin gano'n lang kasimple. Pero mas maraming threats. Merong mga threats actually na nakalakip dun sa mga sinishare natin na fake news or fake informations. So, fake news is part of a larger information threat landscape which can be used in disinformation campaigns. Now, what's the difference between misinformation and disinformation? So, yung disinformation, ang purpose niya talaga, create yon para pakalap ng maling informasyon by purpose. Yun talaga yung purpose niya. Misinformation naman is, it could be hindi by purpose yung pag-share or hindi hindi yun yung kumbaga yung intention ng user, hindi lang siya aware na mali pala yung information na yun. So that's misinformation. But disinformation is intentionally yung pag-share dun sa information, dun sa wrong information na yun. Okay? So another relation is may link to phishing sites, malware or malicious softwares or scams. And it could undermine digital trust and social stability. So mas malaki or mas malalim yung impact ng fake news sa atin in general in our daily lives, in our community, no? Hindi lang siya basta parang post lang tayo ng kung ano-ano. May malaking threat na nakabahagi doon sa um, fake news. Okay, so what are the different types of fake news? Para, of course, for us to be able to identify it more clearly, we have to define what are the examples and types of fake news. So the first one is yung tinatawag na satire or parody. Ayan. So these are defined as content created to entertain or make fun of real events, often exaggerated or fictional. So example nito is an headline, no, before wherein PNP says that PNP to replace sirens with K-pop music to ease public anxiety. Ayan. So actually hindi naman talaga siya totoo, no? So actually may mga satire pages sa Facebook or YouTube, no, na talagang created for that purpose. So parang for fun lang or for parody yung purpose ng mga headlines or mga posts nila. Pero kasi pag yung people, no, hindi tayo informed, pwedeng maniwala sila pag hindi sila aware na satire pala yung post na yon. So ano yung risks? So while not intended to deceive, readers unaware of the satirical nature may believe and share it as a fact. Kung di sila aware na ito palang page na to, ganun yung mga content, so pwedeng maniwala sila. And i-share pa nila yon with the thinking na totoo yung information na yon. So another example of satirical article is this. So MMDA to install Wi-Fi on EDSA to encourage people to stay longer in traffic. Of course, medyo absurd or exaggerated yung thought, 'di ba? And parang ginawang make fun yung traffic. So, yung ganito yung mga examples ng satire content. So, katulad ng isang page sa nakilala si Adobo Chronicles. So, it's a known Filipino satire site. So, paano siya na-considered na satire? The idea is clearly absurd and exaggerated. It mocks the everyday frustration of Metro Manila traffic. It mimics the style of real news but with ridiculous twists. It it's published on a known satire site which openly states it creates parody content. So usually naman yung mga pages na nag-share ng ganitong content, ano naman, kiniklaim naman talaga nila na satire yung post nila. Ang mali lang kasi doon is hindi aware yung mga taong nagbabasa ng information na yon na joke lang pala yon or for parody lang pala yon. So, ano yung real world effect ng mga ganitong satire posts? So, when shared out of context, especially as screenshots on social media, some readers believe the story has true and express outrage, showing how satire can unintentionally contribute to misinformation. Ayan. So, initial reaction ng tao nung nabasa nila yung news na to is, ano ba yan? Bakit pag magpo-focus pa sa wifi or ganito ganyan, nagagalit sila. So again, no, merong emotion, laging nakalakip yung emotion sa pagpapalaganap ng mga ganitong type ng posts. Number two type of fake news is yung misleading content. Okay? So it is defined as information that distorts facts, often using real data but taken out of context. Okay, so an example of this is a headline that says, "Vaccine deaths soar," when the article actually reports rare cases amidst millions of successful vaccination. So, dati may mga gantong tayong nababasa na mga misleading content, no? So, pag binasa lang natin yung title ng post, sabi niya, "Vaccine deaths soars." So, isipin nung mga users kung hindi sila talaga magbabasa ng article is, oy, nakakamatay pala or nakakataas pala ng death rate yung vaccine. Wag na tayo magpa-vaccine. So, na-mislead or mali na yung interpretation ng tao just because of the headline and they did not read the whole story. So, ang risk dito is misleading, framing changes the meaning of the truth. Another example of misleading content is this one. So, DOH confirms hundreds died after getting COVID-19 vaccine. So again, misleading yung headlines or yung title. Hindi naman sinasabi dito na dahil sa vaccine kaya namatay yung mga tao. Ang laman ng article is after magpa-vaccine ay marami pa ring death na nangyari. Pero hindi dahil doon sa vaccine. Okay? So kita natin nagkakaroon ng misleading. What made it misleading is the headline suggests that the vaccine caused death. Ayan. But the actual article stated that people died after being vaccinated, not because of the vaccine. Many people didn't click through or verify the full information. This caused vaccine hesitancy, panic, and spread distrust toward public health efforts. Ayun. So, nagkaroon ng impact, no, or mistrust yung mga tao dun sa vaccine just because of misleading content of information. Number three is imposter content. Ayan. When this is defined when sources impersonate real trusted media outlets or officials. Ito naman, nagpapanggap or may ginagaya yung posts na actual existing agency or people or institution. So example, fake DOH or DepEd advisories posted using copied logos and formats. So create yung post, kinapi yung logo, and then yung way ng background and everything na related dun sa institution na yun ay ginaya din dun sa post. So, the risks of this is it makes fake news harder to detect and encourage high trust in false informations. An example of this incident, no, yung imposter content is, I think naka-receive din ako nito, yung fake land bank SMS messages. So, naka-receive tayo ng ganitong message or yung mga people, no, that says, your account is temporarily on hold. Kindly verify and then merong link. Okay, so kung hindi ka aware na fake news yun, i-click mo yung link and it will direct you to a different site that will ask for your information. And then yon, phishing na yung mangyayari. Pero if we decipher the URL, no, itong link na naka-post, although naka-highlight or naka-caps lock, all caps yung pangalan ng land bank iAccess. Pero if you look at the actual full link, no, rebrand.ly. So dun pa lang suspicious na yung link kasi hindi siya yung actual na page ng land bank. Okay? So, yan, imposters, clues, sender name was spoofed to look like land bank. So, katulad nga yan. Pero mapapansin nyo rin yung ginamit na number is ordinary number. So, yung message it includes legitimate looking logo and branding. The link led to a fake website designed to steal login credentials and personal data. Pag open mo nung site, similar siya dun sa site nung iAccess, pero hindi talaga siya yung legitimate site. So, ano nangyari during this incident? Ano yung naging impact? So, victims were phished, leading to stolen money and identity theft. Since hindi sila aware na fake news or fake message yung na-receive nila, clinic nila yung link, lumabas yung site, illegitimate site, nag-login sila. So, nakuha ngayon yung credentials ng mga users. So, Land Bank issued a warning through official channels urging users not to click suspicious links. Ayan. So, ito yung posts ni Land Bank nun. Okay. Next example of fake news is fabricated content. Ayan. Ito naman, 100% false information with no basis in reality. So example of this is a post that claims a celebrity has died when they haven't, or says a city is under lockdown when it's not. So as in purely false yung or lie yung content niya. So what are the risks of this fake news? So it creates fear, confusion, or panic and is hard to trace to a source. This can be used to manipulate markets, ruin reputations, or steer unrest. Okay, one example of this fabricated content that we had is the new 10,000 peso ayuda to be released this month. Apply now. Ayan. Siyempre, pag nakabasa tayo ng ganyan, again, we have the emotion, no? Nakaka-excite. Uy, magkakaroon ako ng 10K. So, without uh, criticizing yung post. Then, the people clicked on the link and nag-register nga sila. Pero, unaware na yung link na clinic nila and yung information na ibigay nila dun sa mga scammers or dun sa mga people na nag-create nung fake or fabricated content na yon. So, it happened in 2023. A viral post in 2023 claimed the government has offered 10,000 ayuda with a link to a Google form or website to register. So, fabricated clues. Ano yung mga clue para ma-identify natin na fabricated yon? The post used fake government branding like DSWD or Malacanang. The URL was not from a government domain. So yan, check nyo din lagi kung yung domain name ba, ano yung URL nga, yung link is link sa government site. So dapat meron siyang .gov.ph. And then there's no official announcement match the claim. So wala naman din binalita no na ganong news sa mga talagang news outlets natin. So the impact of this scam or fabricated content is thousands of users submitted personal information, potential phishing and identity theft, and the government agencies had to warn the public and request the post be reported. Next example of fake news are the false connections or yung clickbait. Ayan. So headlines, so it includes usually in clickbaits, colorful yan or makikita mo talaga yung mga naka-bold or naka-highlight yung mga naka-exclamation point, yung mga headlines, no? Para unang tingin mo pa lang, click mo na agad siya. Pero usually, misleading again yung information na laman nun. So, it includes headlines or images that don't reflect the actual content of the article. So, example of this is like this. You won't believe what happening at Malacanang. Links to an unrelated or boring story. So, minsan may mga pictures din yan nakasama images ng mga people na hindi naman din related dun sa headlines. So, what are the risks of this fake news? So, encourages clicks for ad revenue but spreads confusion or misinformations. So, usually yung mga nagpapakalap ng mga clickbaits is gusto lang nila ng ads para mas maraming revenue na pumasok dun sa post na yon, mas maraming manood or pumasok dun sa page nila. So, may lead to phishing sites or malware download pages. Clickbait can be a cybersecurity trap. So, ganito usually yung mga example. So, minsan din makikita nyo yung ibang mga clickbaits is, yan, merong mga kiniklaim sila na how to earn gantong amount of money in a few days or kung paano mag-lose ng weight in one day. So, medyo imposible pero kumbaga maku-curious ka, baka paano nga kaya? Pero pag click mo yung link, usually iba yung content or hindi naman niya diniscuss talaga yung sinabi dun sa headlines. Nilagyan lang ng clickbait para, yun nga, i-click natin and pumasok tayo dun sa post na yon. Next, another type of fake news is the false context. So, genuine context shared with false contextual information. Tama naman yung content, usually yung pictures, nangyari talaga siya, pero yung context niya, iba. Okay, example of this is a photo of a 2015 flood shared today with a caption claiming it's from a recent typhoon. So, katulad nung Yolanda, minsan may kumakalap na may panibagong bagyong malakas na bagyong parating. So may picture nung malaking eye nung typhoon. Pero si Yolanda pala yun. Hindi, matagal na pala yung picture. Pero nire-caption lang para sa recent na bagyo. So, ano yung risks again? So, it misleads people into believing something is happening now when it's not. It is widely used during disasters, elections, or public protests to incite strong reactions. Ayan, so katulad nung nabanggit ko, yun, example ng false content is like this, no? May bagyong Hana, doble ang lakas sa Yolanda. Pero actually, yun, lumang picture na pala yun. So, Typhoon Yolanda returns, superstorm approaching. The image used was actually from Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. It was falsely labeled as a current photo of Bagyong Hana. The photo caused panic and confusion, especially in vulnerable coastal areas. So, why this is a false context? So, authenticate image, but from a different event and time. Tama naman yung image, pero ibang, uh, ano siya, event. Misleading pairing of old disaster footage with new weather warnings, and often done to gain engagement, again, clicks or shares. Okay, next. Ito yung last one and yung pinaka parang recent na nakikita natin, yung mga manipulated content. So, genuine images, audios, or videos that have been edited to mislead. So, examples of this are deep fakes or Photoshop posts that put people in fake scenario. So, the risks undermine trust in visual evidences. This uses AI-generated media or yung deepfakes na tinatawag is increasingly used for blackmail, scams, or political disruptions. Examples of manipulated content, AI-generated voice of a local mayor used in scam calls. Ang nakakatakot dito sa last example natin ng fake news is mas mahirap na siyang i-identify sa totoo at hindi. Kasi talagang very real, parang totoo yung nakikita natin or napapanood natin like video, kamukha talaga or akala natin yun talaga yung taong yun or even voice, no? Katulad nito example nito, boses talaga na nagaya using AI na generate yung voice. So residents in a Visayas town reported receiving phone calls from what sounded like their actual town mayor asking for donations for urgent relief efforts. Pero ang totoo, it was generated using AI voice cloning software trained on the mayor's public speeches. So ang galing, 'di ba? So from a recent video of speeches of the mayor, trinain and then dun kinuha yung voice niya para makapag-clone and makapag-generate ng panibagong content na hindi naman talaga nangyari. So it was part of a phishing and mobile scam campaign. So the cybersecurity implication of this is the voice phishing or yung vishing na tinatawag. So vishing is rising. Using AI tools to mimic public figures and trick people into transferring money or revealing their personal information. So katulad din nun, no, akala ng mga tao magbibigay ng ayuda. So, kailangan ng address, pangalan, or mga private information. So, without knowing na deep fake pala yung voice na yon, nagbigay sila ng information. So, very prone talaga siya sa phishing. So, ang tawag na natin pala doon is voice phishing. So, kayo ba? Ayan. So, gusto ko yung mga nakikinig, you can comment po, no? Have you ever experienced or post an information? Have you ever shared a news post and later found out it was false? Na-experience nyo na ba yan na nag-share kayo and then, ay, mali pala yon. Okay, so these are the following are examples of mga recent posts na merong misleading content also. So katulad nito, deepfake scams using Ann Curtis to promote fake investment schemes. So may kumalat na video, I think this is just recent, ayan. Ito lang June 2025, wherein ginamit yung video, itsura and voice ni Ann Curtis in promoting an investment scheme. So it was clarified later by her agency. Naglabas sila ng official statement na deepfake pala yun, no? So ginamit lang yung image ni Ann Curtis to for scam. Ayan. So the manipulated video was part of a broader pattern of using celebrity likeness to lend false credibility and lure audiences. So paano siya nag-spread? Why it spread? So fame, leverage, ginagamit yung mga public figure or mga kilalang tao para maghikayat ng mga tao for scam. And then visual deception, the use of AI, generated visuals and audio can be convincing even if subtle inconsistencies exist. Actually, if you really focus on watch the video, may makikita ka pa rin ng mga inconsistencies. Pero yun nga, kung hindi tayo nag-observe, akala natin totoo siya. And then clickbait appeal. So promising financial gain triggered shares, views, and engagement quickly. So may mga offer din siya na unreal, no, na hindi totoo, na pag shinare mo, meron kang matatanggap. So kaya mas mabilis siyang kumalat. Another example of a deepfake is this one. So claiming the President Marcos Jr. ordered military action. So this was in 2024. So Malacanang flags deepfake audio of Marcos ordering military attack. And then may kasama rin ng mga images yung video. And this example serves as a precedent on how terrible the consequences would be if such misinformation spread and if they were not given immediate and appropriate action. So the truth, hindi talaga siya totoo. It was a fabricated audio-visual clip of our President Bobong Marcos allegedly commanding the armed forces of the Philippines to prepare for conflict with China concerning the West Philippine Sea. So how it was spread, it was shared widely across social media and messaging platforms during heightened tension in the disputed waters. So yung timing din, very timely, no? Usually yung mga ganitong fake news, tina-time talaga din sa mga current na nangyayari. Kaya rin siya nagsispread ng mabilis. The audio convincingly mimicked Marcos's voice and the visuals framed it as a formal announcement. So why it matters? This case demonstrates how AI-generated content can manipulate public sentiments during geopolitical crisis. As a form of disinformation, this deep fake media can undermine trust in government, escalate tension, and serve as a vector for cyber psychological operations. So yun ang napakalaki nung pwedeng maging impact nung event na yun, no? Kasi very timely and very heightened yung conflict between two countries and then magkakaroon ng ganong fake posts. So ang effect nun sa tao, it could provide pwedeng cause ng fear, panic, no? And yung loss ng trust dun sa government. Okay, ito very recent talaga din. I think this was last Monday. So deepfake claiming DepEd class suspension notices. So misinformation tungkol sa suspension ng klase nung Monday. So a digitally fabricated video was shared on Facebook allegedly announcing nationwide class suspension on July 28 due to the SONA. The video featured a female broadcaster reading the bulletin and DepEd logo overlays to appear credible. Ayan. So actually video siya na may nagsasalitang news anchor and ina-announce yung suspension ng klase. So ginamit din yung pangalan ng DepEd. So ano din yung element nung fake ano yun, cloning no ng content. So DepEd confirmed it was fake and warned the public to rely only on official announcements. Ayan, so nag-post sila ng official announcement advisory. So how it spread, the video was shared by thousands within hours. Parents, students, and even some teachers reposted it without verification. It reached Facebook groups, TikTok, repost, and even some community group chats. So yun, napakabilis. Kasi nga, again, timely siya, no? Napapanahon dahil may SONA talaga nung Monday, and may mga nag-iintay din talaga ng suspension. So, if hindi talaga natin tiningnan, hindi tayo nag-observe dun sa content ng information, pwede talaga natin siyang ma-share without knowing. So, why do we fall for fake news? Ano ba yung mga nagko-cause? Bakit tayo na-fall sa mga ganitong maling impormasyon? So, the first one is yung tinatawag na cognitive biases. Believing what we want to be true. Sabi kasi, if makabasa ka ng posts na nag-agree ka, kahit hindi mo siya basahin, since nakaka-relate ka doon and nag-agree ka doon, minsan, sinishare na lang natin siya agad kasi nakaka-relate tayo and we agree na, oo, tama to, tama, totoo yan, share. Pero hindi natin binasa, hindi natin chinek kung totoo yung information nakalagay doon. Just because we believe it's true, we automatically assumed na yung information ay tama. Second is fast-paced news consumption. So, minsan, scroll lang tayo ng scroll, ang tinitingnan lang natin is yung front or yung title or yung headline. So, we scroll faster than we think. Hindi natin alam, hindi natin tiningnan or hindi tayo pumasok dun sa actual posts para basahin kung or i-check yung authenticity ng information. Kasi yung ating nasanay tayo 'no sa mga social media na dire-diretso lang yung pagso-scroll. Medyo umiikli yung span ng attention span natin because of social media. So minsan yung pagbabasa din natin, di na natin pinaglalaanan ng mas mahabang panahon sana para ma-confirm kung totoo ba. Basta lang dumaan sa page natin, we assume na totoo 'yon. Next is social proof and emotional content. So, if everyone's sharing it, it must be true, right? Yeah. So, minsan, akala natin, shinare ni ganito, shinare ng kaibigan mo, or marami nag-share. We sometimes nag, ah, parang join na lang din tayo na, okay, baka nga totoo kasi shinare din nila yon. Okay, so, minsan din yung emotion nga, yung emotional content na kapag naka-feel tayo ng deep connection or relation sa isang posts, yun, mas malaki yung chance na ma-fall tayo dun sa fake information na yon. So, paano ba nakakadagdag si AI? How AI fuels fake news? Ayan. Kasi marami na ngayong lumalabas sa mga tools, no, gamit ang AI. So, the first one is the AI-generated text or yung mga chatbot or yung tinatawag na large LLMS, large language models. AI models like ChatGPT, Cloud, or Gemini can be misused to quickly write plausible sounding fake articles, press releases, or statements. So because of these tools, mas madali para sa mga scammers or sa mga tao na mag-generate ng isang buong article ng napakabilis. So, kumbaga mas madami, mabilis tayo makapag-create ng mga posts na we can even make it sound professional or very well written because of these tools. Kaya mas malaki yung chance din na ma-fall tayo sa mga ganitong fake news kasi akala natin ang ganda ng pagkakasulat pero yung pala ginamitan siya lang ganitong mga chatbots para magmuka at sound talaga na legitimate information. Next is yung deepfakes. So yung fake audio and fake videos. So tools like Deepface Lab or 11 Labs can mimic voices, faces, and expressions to create fake interviews or announcements. Ayan. So may mga AI tools like this one or deepfakes na tinatawag natin na pwede talaga tayo makapag-generate ng people na gumagawa ng certain actions or tasks na hindi naman totoo because of using these tools and even sound like it or sound like them. Another tool is yung AI image generators. Ayan, very gamit din to. Pwede tayo mag-create ng mga sarili nating images sa AI with just the prompts that we want, no? AI tools like Midjourney or DALL-E can create realistic fake images showing events or disasters that never happen. Again, napakadali na lang. Dati, i-edit mo pa yan. Pero because of AI, you can just create it flawlessly and easily. Next is fake social media profiles. Ayan, yung mga nagpapakalap ng posts, no, napakadali nang mag-generate ng mga AI avatars or non-existing people na ginagamit yung social media to generate fake news. So AI generated photos are used to create fake Facebook or Twitter accounts or in different platforms as well that look real. Pero hindi talaga sila people, no? Next is automated disinformation campaigns. So AI bots are used to schedule and auto-post fake news, trending hashtags, or comments to manipulate social media algorithms. So meron na rin mga AI bots na sila na mismo yung nag-generate ng mga auto-post na fake news para ipakalap sa social media or sa different platforms. Kaya ganun na lang kabilis, no, na kumalat yung mga ganitong type ng um, fake news. So, how misinformation is considered as a cyber threat. So, misinformation becomes a cyber threat when it is intentionally crafted or spread using digital tools to manipulate perception, cause harm, or gain unauthorized access to systems and data. So, how do misinformation poses cybersecurity risks? The first one is the social engineering attack. Misinformation is often used to manipulate people into taking unsafe actions. These posts are created to manipulate people or to make us do or believe something that is not existing or hindi naman totoo. Dinesign talaga siya para paniwalain or para makakuha ng reaction sa mga tao and manipulate yung tao. So it can pose a cybersecurity risk. Two is distraction for cyber attacks. So pwede rin gamitin yung mga viral trending fake news para i-divert ang isang attack. So, while people are focusing on a specific trending news na hindi naman totoo, the hackers can divert, no? Pwede silang uh, habang hindi nakatingin, kumbaga kung habang hindi nakatingin yung mga tao, they can divert the attention of people and attack specific organization or government, 'di ba? So kasi nga hindi doon tayo nakafocus sa mga trending or fake news na ito. Third is damaging reputations or institutions. False claims can undermine trusts in school, governments, or businesses. So nagkakaroon din ng effect yung mga fake news sa mga government or institutions or even individuals, no? By promoting false accusations and by destroying their reputations. So, paano natin maiiwasan yung mga fake news? What are the ways to stay smart online? So, verify first, share later. So, lagi tayong magbasa. Lagi nating tingnan yung content. Tingnan natin yung mga domain name and tama ba talaga, ito ba talaga yung page nung ating legitimate page nung binasa natin. As second is strengthen digital literacy. So of course, dapat mas marami din tayong alam. Matuto tayo magbasa and mag-i-educate natin yung sarili natin para hindi tayo basta-basta malaloko ng mga fake news. So understand how media and platform works. And then enable cyber hygiene. I think cyber hygiene topic to nung mga nakaraang KC, no? So paano ba natin i-keep kumbaga sa hygiene ng katawan, 'di ba? We keep our hygiene clean. So ganun din dapat sa cyberspace, yung mga pinopost natin, yung mga contents natin, yung information natin, kailangan malinis din or protected din kung paano natin i-protect yung sarili natin. And then, be skeptical of too good to be true posts. Most of the time, yung mga medyo exaggerated or too good to be true na mga headlines, usually, dun ka dapat hinala or magtaka na, totoo ba talaga to? Before you engage. So, mas importante pa din na lagi mong isipin kung totoo ba talaga, be skeptical. Okay? So, of course, si AI, pwede rin natin siyang gamitin. So, if AI are used to manipulate us into reading and engaging into fake news, pwede rin siyang gamitin to help us how to protect ourselves with this fake news. So, artificial intelligence can also be a force for good in detecting, preventing, and responding to informations and fake news. So, AI as digital watchdog. So, meron tayong yung mga platforms naman na ginagamit natin, meron naman din talaga silang ginagamitan na rin siya ng AI para i-detect yung mga fake and mga content na hindi talaga totoo bago pa natin makita na nafi-filter out naman na nila yon. For example, ay si Facebook. Meron na siyang mga ginagamit na tools, AI tools para ma-limit or ma-prevent yung dami ng fake news kapag na-identify nila na fake news ang isang post. So, detecting deepfakes and AI-generated content. So, ito yung mga tools na pwede nating gamitin para ma-detect natin kung ito bang video na to. Hindi tayo sure kasi parang totoo. So, we can use tools like Microsoft Video Authenticator. It checks if a video has been manipulated. Can also use Reality Defender, real-time detection of AI-generated media, and Deepware Scanner scans for signs of deepfake. So, maganda rin na aware tayo na may magandang tools tayong pwedeng gamitin para ma-check natin, ma-double check natin yung mga contents na nakikita natin online. Image and video verification tools. So, tools are trained to reverse search and verify whether an image was taken out of context, was posted before, or was digitally altered. So, yung mga pictures, although pwede siyang i-edit para manloko, pwede mo rin siyang gamitin or pwede mo rin ma-trace using yung image na yon, yung sa mga metadata na nakalagay dun sa image na yun, kung totoo bang na-create siya ng time na yon, yung date creation nun. Yan. So, we have also tools like Google Lens or TinEye to reverse image search, and InVid for video analysis plugin for verifying video content. And AI-powered fact checkers. Ayan. So, meron din tayong tools like Claim Review by Google, Flags Check Facts in Search Results, Full Fact AI automates response to viral information, and ChatGPT and similar LLMs helps verify or summarize verified sources when used responsibly. Yan. We can also use AI-powered fact checkers para i-check naman kung legitimate ba itong nakita natin na headlines or articles. And of course, cybersecurity and plus AI is equals to better defense. AI is also used in cybersecurity platform to detect phishing emails generated using AI. Ayan, ginagamit din si AI para din ma-prevent yung phishing. Monitor anomalies in traffic behaviors like bots spreading misinformation, and predict coordinated misinformation campaigns. So, yan. Since malapit na maubos yung time natin. So, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways of this talk. So, always, fake news is a real threat and not just an online noise. So, we have to understand na yung fake news, hindi lang siya basta information na inilagay dyan na, nagkamali lang, okay, it's okay. So, hindi lang siya basta ganon or online noises, no? Kasi, meron siyang impact sa mga tao and sa ating lahat na nakakakita nun and gumagamit nung maling information na yon. So, misinformation affects real decisions from education and public safety to voting and finances. And AI is a double-edged sword. So, kung ginagamit siya to generate, no, itong mga fake news, itong mga deepfakes, pwede rin siyang gamitin to debunk and to see or to check if totoo ba talaga yon. So, pwede din natin siyang gamitin to check. So, kaya siya double-edged sword. I can create deepfakes, generated fake headlines, and automate clickbaits, making it easier for fake news to spread. But the same AI tools can also detect lies, trace sources, and protect the public when used responsibly. And lastly, cybersecurity isn't just about hackers, it's about information integrity. Okay? Fake news can be used in cyber attacks like phishing, distraction for malware, and data harvesting. Our personal behavior online, what we click, share, or believe can open doors to cyber threats. Okay, so that's all for my discussion. So thank you for listening. Um, sa ating mga listeners, kung meron kayong mga insights also or key takeaways, let us know. Comment kayo sa ating page. Okay. Mamean, andyan pa po kayo.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Ma'am Andy.
Okay.
Wait lang. Okay. It's really eye-opening, no? Ang daming fake news. So it's really, you know, parang ang bilis niya mag-spread, especially nowadays, kasi gawa ng AI. And thank you, Ma'am Andy, for sharing some useful tips, no, to stay smart when we're online. So again, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Meron ba kayong mga experiences that you'd like to share? Meron ba kayong tips, no, kung paano makita kung fake news ba yun or deepfake yung pinapanood natin? Feel free po to leave your comments kasi may ilang minutes pa tayo, no? 9 minutes.
Yes.
Talaga oras na oras.
Mamayan.
Oh, ay si Ma'am
If
Mildred
I
pala.
may add. Thank you,
Yes.
Ma'am Andy. Naalala ko lang kasi during the pandemic, merong mga list of hotels before na nag-spread na it is not safe kasi ginagamit nga siya for quarantine. Pero later on, lumabas na misinformation pala siya. Okay, so nakakatuwa lang hearing you discuss na before kasi ang hirap pa eh, 'di ba? Wala naman tayong masyadong knowledge on how we can check the data kung totoo. Pero as discussed, mas madali na ngayon mag-spread ng mga misinformation, 'di ba? Ng mga ginagawa talaga nila intentionally na fake news. But at the same time, pwede pala natin gamitin yung AI to detect, 'di ba? To detect kung tama or mali or kung meron bang trace na pwede palang mangyari na, okay, so manipulated pala tong mga images na to and videos na to kasi even the voice, 'di ba, can be
Yes.
manipulated. Wala lang, parang ano, nung unang lumabas yung mga AI, parang nakakatuwa kasi parang it will make our life easier, but at the same time, nakakatakot. Pero yun, so knowing the details na yung mga implications, ayun, pwede naman palang, kumbaga, may counter na pwede nating i-check, 'di ba? Pero yun, so we
Yes.
need to be really smart before sharing anything or discussing things. Dapat meron talaga tayong credible source. Yun lang naman. So, I think from our industry, marami rin kaming mga fake news. So, for me, sa hotels, palagay ko, kasi I came from the hospitality, palagay ko ang easily manipulated sa amin. Kasi today, people are, relying on the reviews. Diba, before going to a certain restaurant or hotel, ang chine-check na natin are reviews, kung magaganda yung reviews. But I think na kung overly positive yon, medyo question mark na rin. Totoo ba talaga? Or manipulated? Or sometimes naman talagang intentionally to damage their reputation. So, ayun, siguro fact-checking lang talaga and make sure na credible yung source. Kasi if you will be browsing din naman the profile nung nag-post, you will notice some details like ito ba ay may picture or gaano nakatagal ito na nandito sa system na to or gumagawa ng reviews. Ayun lang. I think for our industry sa hospitality, malaking bagay na dapat knowledgeable ka in terms of how you can check the data or the details before actually sharing it. Ayun lang. Thank you so much, Ma'am Andy, Ma'am Mayan.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ma'am Mildred.
Mm. It's lagi lang dapat tayo, no? Let's be responsible with what we share. Kasi syempre pag in-spread natin yung fake news, hindi lang naman tayong ma-harm, no? But yung mga, syempre, yung mga kabasa nun. Ang medyo alarming lang nun yung mga related sa health, na may mga ini-endorse na gamot, yung mga doktor, di ba? Yun ang
Mm.
medyo alarming talaga. So, let's always make it a habit, no, na to use fact-checking tools. kaya mag-search lang tayo ng mga alternative na credible sources. Sa ilang minutes lang naman yun, no? To fact check.
Yes.
Um, ano ma'am, may question dito? Nabasa mo na ba ito, Ma'am Andy?
Yes,
From
ma'am.
Ritz Feliciano, na-check na po ba natin if safe po ba yung mga AI detector tools na nabanggit kanina? Kasi AI to AI siya, 'di ba?
Yes, oo. Actually, some of the tools that was mentioned, hindi ko pa rin siya personally nagamit before. So,
Mm.
pero yung mga tools like Google, okay naman siya. Pero before, yung ibang mga nabanggit, actually, hindi ko pa siya nagamit personally. It's just by upon research. So I think
Mm.
good advice din, good question din yung kay Sir Ritz na yung mga nilist natin na AI tools is you also check first kung okay yung tools na yun before we provide yung information natin sa mga AI tools na to. Kasi yun nga, it could make or break si AI. Yun. So maganda na i-question, maganda yung question ni sir. So I think ang advice ko na lang din sa viewers natin na gugamit din for checking of AI is to be mindful din yung mga gagamitin yung tools for checking also. Kasi yun nga, hindi natin alam kung, kasi yung mga data minsan na binabato natin sa AI, pag hindi natin alam kung paano nila store yung mga information na nilalagay natin, could also be used against us. So, lagi din tayong maging maingat sa paggamit ng mga tools na ito. Yun, Ma'am Ann. Thank you. Do we
Yun.
have questions pa po? Ayan.
Parang
We
wala
still
na,
have
Ma'am.
3 minutes.
Puro ano na, thank you na to, thank you sa information.
Mhm.
Yan. Wait.
Actually, ako, share ko lang din,
Ayan.
yung mga usual na nagiging victims ng fake news is yung hindi talaga sila aware. Like, example ko yung father ko din. Lagi din siyang scroll no, ng mga um, videos or vlogs. I think it's okay din siguro sa atin na mga younger people or yung mga talagang may awareness in terms of this particular topic like fake news to educate also yung ating mga kakilala, mother, father, kasi sila talaga yung mas parang mas vulnerable sa ganitong types ng mga attacks, no? Kasi kahit ako personally kasama ko na sa bahay father ko na nasasaway ko minsan. Nakikita ko may dinideliver na lang na item. Nakita niya sa Facebook, pre-note ni ganito. So, lagi kong pinagsasabihan. So, I think, kumbaga, since aware tayo, dapat i-share din natin or educate din natin yung mga kasama natin, lalo na yung ating mga lolo, lola, nanay, kasi sila talaga yung mas targeted ng mga gantong types ng mga attacks. Ayan, so,
Yun na
I
siguro.
guess
Oo.
this is all for our KC this
AC.
afternoon. So, thank you po sa mga nakinig and nag-share. Ano yung lagi nating sinasabi, Mamayaan, for our closing?
Ah, okay. Ano lang ngayon, happy lang.
Happy lang,
Happy lang, walang weekend.
weekend. Okay. So, thank
Parang
you so much.
every weekend, ano?
Oo, every week ay happy lang.
Oo.
Pero importante yon, dapat happy
Oo.
tayo.
Happy tayo. Okay. So
Kahit
once
walang
again po,
weekend.
thank you so much po for joining us today. Stay safe out there.